fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
If you only do one thing this year, this week, this day, today, do this. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again. Please bear with me with my scratchy throat, and gosh, I feel horrible right now. Just got over COVID, whole family got over COVID, and now I ended up jogging outside, finally felt good. And I guess it's all the oak or whatever it is, but massive like allergy attack. And this happens to me, it seems like once a year, usually in the winter. You'd think I'd be smart enough not to go take a long jog outside. And then I went fishing after that and was outdoors all day long, and I came home. And anyhow, that's why my voice sounds odd. So I'm going to keep this short. This, I believe, could be one of the most important ones of the year. And if you heard my podcast about what I discovered in the Bible, it's a lot of it goes into this. It really comes down to one thing. Pretty simple, yet we kind of neglect it and forget about it. And before I tell you the answer, let's just talk about what's happening right now in America, and from even the emails I get from some of these episodes, and what you see in the news, and just kind of the feeling that we get about where society is headed. And so I'll give you a couple examples. Right now, there is more hurt than I believe almost any time before, right? There's more depression, certainly. Suicide rates among everyone, even young kids, are at all-time highs. I mean, these teenagers, even preteens, are committing suicide at crazy rates. That should be alarming, right? There's more people fighting. There's more people feeling helpless than ever before. There's more anxiety. My emails have skyrocketed in terms of people telling me they're dealing with anxiety, and they found my video or one of my podcasts on anxiety. I'm talking about a point I can't even compare it to a point in the past. People are just, they're hurt. They're not where they should be. And it all really ties into one thing. And I'm going to, you're probably going to guess it here in a second, but I go back to every single time I've had a problem in my relationship. I even go back to every single time that we've had kind of a problem employee in our company or an old company I was with. And usually when you boil it down, what do they say, right? What are they saying behind your back? It's, I don't feel appreciated, or I don't feel the love. I mean, literally people have said that. And usually when you have a bad employee, it's not just them being a bad person. You hired them because they were probably a good fit. And it's usually because you forgot to give them the love. You forgot to appreciate them. And it's the same with my wife. We go back to some of the fights. And usually if we take too long to have a date night, my wife says, I just don't feel the love, right? And my wife does so much. And there are times where I'm crazy busy and she's crazy busy with her job and trying to take care of the kids and do a million things as moms with jobs do, or even moms without jobs do. And there's some days, she's like, I just don't feel like you guys appreciate me. And that's, and gosh, it hurts. And we're like, man, it would have been so much easier to just tell her we appreciate her and love her, because we do, right? But we neglect it so much. So I had an uncle that just passed away of this, over the past quarter, and it happened really abruptly. And I wish, my one regret, man, I wish I could have hung out with him more. I wish I told him I loved him more, right? We all should be doing that. So if you're going to do one thing this year, love more. That's it. Going back to the Bible, that was the main thing, right? Love thy neighbor, love. Jesus is love. He was filled with love. He loved everyone. People don't feel the love right now. People are incredibly lonely, and that all boils into because they don't feel the love. We had a guy here, Brad Beatty, who does an incredible thing here in Winter Haven, Florida, for not just the homeless, but for anyone who's just super depressed and not fulfilled, right? Not happy. And they did, a massive survey amongst all these people, especially a lot of the elderly. who have kids and who even have grandkids, and their number one thing, I thought it was going to be money, right? That there was the fear of running out of money, because I was in the retirement services space, and that was always a fear. But even above that, even above running out of money and that fear, was they were lonely. Wow. That was the number one challenge that we're having across America with the elderly, right? Who maybe have lost their spouse, and think about it. Maybe you're one of those people, right? And your kids aren't calling you enough. Your grandkids are calling you. They're all busy doing their lives, and they feel lonely. They're not feeling the love. I mean, just a simple phone call, just a simple text message can go a long way. And I'm trying to, that's one of my big things this year, is just trying to reach out to even random people that I know that have been hurt and have gone through, some pretty nasty divorces and going through just tough times. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to calling them later, and just send them a quick text. I get an instant response usually. Sometimes I don't, but the instant response, they're like, oh my gosh, I needed to hear from you so bad. Thank you. This meant so much. Like, wow. It took me 10 seconds, 15 seconds to send a text. Just, hey, I'm thinking about you. Love you. Miss you. I miss talking to you. I mean, something that simple can go so far. And then you take it a step further. I mean, did that one podcast about that family that basically ripped themselves apart via public Facebook comments, right? All over this, COVID and mask and this kind of stuff. And I'm seeing more and more people, right? In general, people want to validate what they choose or what they choose to believe, right? Or who they choose to vote for, anything that. And that's why with this whole vaccine, regardless of what side you're on, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And nothing you could say can change my opinion or anyone else's opinion, right? But the sad part is, we make a choice. We take a side on anything. Let's just use this vaccine, because I saw this post this morning that, oh, I wish I could have deleted it for them. But it was a person who I'm friends with, and she is very, very on one side of this vaccine. And she wants to make a massive point to everyone and anyone who will listen or is friends with her about why she believes. And she's posting like 8 things a day on why she's right. And to the point it's alienated so many of her friends. And there's been some people who truly love her and says, you know what? So-and-so, we don't really care. Let's just go back to loving each other. And then she went off on that person. Then all her friends who were on her side went off on that person. And it was truly a nice post, and it needed to be said. And I'm like, wow, I'm watching friendships. These are people I've known them since I was a little kid growing up here, and they're tearing their relationships apart over their beliefs about a stupid vaccine, right? Regardless of what side of the fence you're on or not. Nuts. And all it takes is going back to this simple message of just loving more, right? So before you post anything on Facebook or Instagram or social media, before you say anything, before anything comes out of your mouth, just like have a filter. Is this loving? Before you talk behind someone's back, which something I'm trying to stop doing, even if it's not bad or slanderous, even if it's just slightly gossip, is this loving, right? Love more. I mean, if we all just put out a little bit more love, imagine what it could do for that one person who's feeling depressed, or that person who is even thinking about committing suicide, because once again, they're lonely. They don't feel loved. They don't feel appreciated. They don't feel like they have any worth, right? If you don't feel like you have any worth, it's usually because you're not appreciated. You don't feel the love, right? Everything goes back to that. These people who are dealing with crazy depression and anxiety and helplessness, it's usually because they haven't felt appreciated. They haven't felt love. The answer is love. It all goes back to love. So just do that. That's why it's so important. I know we're getting now thousands of people are listening to every one of these episodes. And so let's just say 5,000 of us download this episode and listen to it. If just 5,000 of us just this week went on a mission, right? And I'm talking about a flat out mission just to love more, to send some text. Do it today. In the next hour, send 3 texts. I'm not going to say do 100, just do 3 to random people or maybe family members that you haven't reached out to in a long time, that are always in the back of your mind, and just tell them, man, I just want to say I love you. I miss talking to you. I just wanted to say it's been a while and you were on my mind, man. I love you, man. If it's if you're like me and you're a guy, you'd feel weird saying I love you to some random good friend. I love you, man. Gosh, it could go so far, especially if it's a family member who might be that lonely person who's feeling absolutely lonely and not loved, or if it's within any kind of community or even a business. Reach out to some of the employees that you might think that maybe don't feel appreciated right now. They've been working like crazy and they're a little bit just disgruntled. Just that simple message goes so far. So I'm hoping that we can just have this trickle effect of spreading some love out there and avoiding getting into conflict and avoiding these, crazy debates about anything political right now. It just doesn't help. You're not going to change someone's mind. We all know that. We also know that we like to be right, but just be right with yourself. Just love. That's it. Guys, I hope this hit home. I hope this hit the right person that needed to hear it. And I hope you'll take my challenge and just reach out to a few people today, right now. And whether it's a phone call or a text, it doesn't even matter. It could be an email, whatever. Just the act of telling someone you love them and you miss them. I'm telling you, it is amazing what it could do to someone's life. And all of a sudden now they're in a better mood. They're more cheerful. And now, they're nicer to their kids or their loved ones, or their coworkers, or whatever it might be. It's crazy, that trickle effect that happens. Even my mom's really good about this, about just telling someone something nice about them. Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. I love that dress. I love that outfit. I love what you've done with your hair. Just that's loving someone, right? It's appreciating someone. That's simple fact. Now all of a sudden that person's entire demeanor changes. They're happier. They're going out with more confidence. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why love is so powerful. It literally can take one simple statement. Well, I mean, one simple statement like that, like I like your outfit, or I love that. I love your shoes. I love that belt. Something that, sorry, my throat's killing me here. Something that just seems so simple can have profound impact on that person and everyone they touch throughout that day and even week. So guys, I love you. I obviously got to end on that. I love you. I thank you so much. Please share this episode as well. That helps me out big time. Obviously, we don't have any sponsors. Don't make any money off this. I do this through thick and thin and snow and rain, and even when my voice is getting hoarse from this allergies. And so I ask that you share it. Obviously, sharing it helps with others or anyone who you think might need to hear this. And hit me up. I love hearing from you. Joe@saltstrong.com is my private email. That's JOE@saltstrong.com. Otherwise, have an amazing week this week, or depending on what day you're listening to this, if you're already halfway through the week. But have just an amazing week, an amazing year, and just remember to be more loving. Love more. That is the answer.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was past that.